بلد كثير الخيرات فيه كل ثروات الزراعية والحيوانية والمعادن فكيف أكون جعان وكيف أكون عاريا وكيف أكون مرضان بدون دواء في بلدي الغنية.
10 states, 3 administrative areas, South Sudan. Welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Madingor. This week on Fixing South Sudan, the South Sudan Elections Commission comes under spotlight as 2023 deadline to hold the elections beckons. But how prepared is the Election Commission to conduct the much talked about plebiscite? With us in the program is Dr. Abenego Akungkachwal, the chairman of the South Sudan Election Commission. Our pleasure to have him on this program. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Madingo. And that is my second action with him. We did that of 2011 September.
On Bakita.
On Bakita Radio. And today we are dealing with what he called Fixing South Sudan.
Indeed.
That's good.
So we are talking about your commission in light of the debate 2023 around the corner. By January 2023, you should have commenced the business of elections. Time is of the essence. Everybody is talking, but the whole nation wants to hear from the commission itself. Tell us, what is your response to what people are talking about? Elections, elections. What do you have to say to the world?
As I just mentioned a few minutes ago, I want to thank you very much for this invitation to come and explain the plans of the Commission regarding the election in 2023. This is important because many of us may not be aware of the procedures or of the peace agreement which have been signed by the warring parties. Referring to the revitalized peace agreement, it is obvious that after 34 months, the elections will be held before 60 days could finish. So now we are at the verge of nearing the end of the period. So it is good that for the decision makers, political decision makers or the stakeholders, to be aware that time is running and plans for the elections should be considered before they are caught by time. So it is before South Sudanese at large that the revitalized peace agreement is considering the election to be run 60 days before the end of the period of the 36 months which they have signed. So it would be very good for all the political leaders or political parties to strategize in their own way. That time is coming and it is running. And I would really be happy because I don't want to do what I did 2015 when I declared the election date. According to the Act, it was a very serious issue.
It is the stakeholders to make a decision.
Yes. So now the stakeholders to see to that either we push December upwards for another 6 months or we bring back the date for another 4 months.
Let's talk about what the agreement talks about. There is supposed to be a reconstitution of the current commission if there is supposed to be elections. Has that taken place?
Very good indeed. You know, there are duties which are to be taken by the political leaders of the nation. In the revitalized peace agreement, two important articles are very, very, very pertinent there. One is the amendment of the National Election Commission Act 2012. It must be amended. Two, the commission must be reconstituted. That is, the the president and the first vice president and other political thinkers are to sit and review the number, or they confirm 9 members, and then it is their duty to take them away all, or they bring in new people, or they mix. This is the duty. But what is very important in this particular situation is that the political leaders should immediately sit and decide on reconstitution of the commission, and then amendment of the National Election Commission Act 2012.
This has not taken place.
It has not taken place.
Why do you think it has not yet taken place?
Well, it is a process being handled by the political decision makers, but we as technical people, we did our part a long time ago. We made our proposals as requested by GIMEC, and we submitted to them according to the peace agreement, the areas to be amended. It is the duty of the GIMEC to send it to the Minister of Justice, who will forward it to the Council of Ministers, and from there we end up in the Parliament.
Give us a picture about how your commission operates. This is a nationwide thing, as I understand.
Definitely, the commission is mandated to conduct fair, free elections according to the Election Act. So, it is a body which is entrusted by the nation to guide and to follow the law and apply the law as it is.
And how is the bureaucracy that you have set up? Is it just the office in Juba, or is it operating nationwide?
Very good. In the same building, 2014, I invited the staff of the 10 states, and I had dinner with them here. And then, before I could bid them farewell to go to their states, there are offices now in 10 states, but many of them have collapsed during the war. It needs me to visit them as soon as possible to see which are really buildings are working or not.
As we speak, you are not sure about preparedness of the institution itself. If everything was stable, the institution itself, you are not sure whether it is prepared.
You know, election is a process. It is a process that, at the moment, we need the political decision makers to agree on when should we begin the election. Is it after 2 months or before 2 months of the peace agreement? 2, if we agree, we will face it. That, as mentioned by in the revitalized peace agreement, voter register should take place 6 months before the election could take place. Hence, it could take place in September or October. Then you go on registering people. 6 months.
It is a process.
Yes, it is a process. Registration. Then from there, you see the documents what to be displayed to be proved or not. So this is the stage, and then vote civil education. That the voter, you are the power, because you have the vote. You can't use that unless you register your name. Go and vote. If you don't register, then you have no right to vote.
A lot depends on the stakeholders.
Definitely, the stakeholders are only to pass certain things. For example,
your success depends on the support that is given to you.
Definitely, because the resources, the security are to be provided by the government of the nation.
We will talk about resources. Why don't we take a break from here?
الانتخابات عشان يتم يبدو انه السلام ذاته يكمل نفسه سلام يكمل نفسه على النطاق الجنوب كلها ما يكون على عيرية واحدة.
However, the elections will not be actually going on through because there are some other things we have not been done. The peace agreement had never been fulfilled. So many articles have not been implemented.
Thank you, fixing South Sudan. Really, we are fixing South Sudan. One, South Sudan election is not possible on 2023 because of the following reasons. One, the government should complete the formation of the government, of transitional government. Two, unification of unified forces. Number 3, we need to return repatriation of all the IDPs and refugees in neighboring countries. Number 4, census. Those who are still carrying the guns, we need to bring them to the board.
Issues including security arrangements have not been put into an end, such that we clear all the things that were enacted within the agreement. Therefore, the 2023 elections are likely not going to go through because a lot of things are not yet, only remaining 1 year.
Welcome back to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Madingor, and with us in the program is Dr. Abenego Akok Kachwal, Chairman, South Sudan Elections Commission, and we are speaking about the road to 2023. How prepared is the Commission? And he says a lot depends on the support that has been accorded to the Commission. And we are going to speak now about the challenges facing the Commission. I was asking you about the bureaucracy, whether it is a nationwide operation. It is quite clear that there are issues of funding constraint. And you have been quoted recently in the press as speaking about the arrears that have to be paid, even for the head office. Why don't we talk about the challenges that are facing your commission, even in the absence of the elections?
You know, when the office was established in 2012, there is a body called IFIRST. It is an American body which took over the provision of resources to the commission. And we went on very well until the war broke out. They pulled out. When they pulled out, all that they provide us, they withdrew it and they put it in peace.
USAID.
Yes. Now we are left with the government to pay for the rent and for other expenses, including the internet. But all this is now they've come to stand still. As we speak now, there are arrears for 2-3 years or more, or we're going to the fourth year now. And the owner of the house is very, very bitter.
25 million pounds is needed from you.
Or more than that.
It has not been paid.
Does
it show that there is no political will to support you to grow into a formidable body?
Well, I cannot really confirm that. But what I know is that when I go to them, they will say, come tomorrow. Until now, we are at the wilderness. What is really happening?
You're talking about being in the wilderness, and the hope of the nation lies on your commission. Suppose that the resources are given to you. Will you be in a position to conduct free and fair elections without fear and favor by the said deadline, if the resource issue was addressed?
In fact, I was just reading a few minutes ago. Then I read the word fixing the nation. It is the election which can fix the nation. And if the political thinkers or the owners of the nation, if they are willing to conduct fair, free election, they can do that by providing the commission with the basic needs, requirement at the right time. For example, now we want to visit 10 states. We cannot move now. I want to go and see the election in Nairobi, how is the registration going on? I can't move. So, this particular time, we would really suggest to the nation or to the government that time has come for them to provide resources to the commission to enable it take over the duties promptly.
Let's talk about fixing the nation or fixing South Sudan, as we put it in our lexicon. How can the elections fix the nation if they have been done in an orderly fashion?
Well, I think they can fix the nation first by respecting the law of the nation. You come in for a specific period. As soon as that period ends, you go to the people that I want the mandate. If they bring you back, fair enough, they will fix you back now. That is fixing the nation. They will come back, then they do where, or they talk where they want, then they go ahead. If you have not done well in your constituents, then you will not come back.
Are you getting what I'm getting? That there is a fatigue in South Sudan about transitions being postponed, transitions inside transitions. Is it something that you think we should end once and for all, or we factor in the objective conditions? The objective conditions are this. Even if the resources were there, time is not on the side of the election commission. The other issues that are talked about is the implementation of critical aspects of the agreement, such as putting in place the security arrangement, which is much talked about. There's issue of the law. Permanent constitution is often spoken about as a prerequisite for the election. Refugees and IDPs have to be reintegrated, not done. Census not conducted. And the issues of capacity building for your institution. So there are many, many issues that are going against elections happening on time. And to some South Sudanese, this is another indication that there may be a postponement of the transition. Your response?
Well, the postponement is not our duty. It is to be conducted or to be held by political decision makers. But our duty is to prepare and run the election. At the moment, capacity building we have acquired during this period can do the job. They have been going outside to get training, coming in and going out. And you know I attended so many election observations. It is there. The main issue now is the government of the nation or the people of the vitalized agreement. They are to sit and then they speed the issue of the constitution, because constitution is the guiding document for every nation. Whatever you do, you refer to the document, which is the constitution. Otherwise, there is no way. Two, the security. It is the role of the government to see to that it is oriented and prepared as soon as possible, if there is political will. Matter of training them, 45 days of training them is enough.
Political will is the key.
Yes.
Why don't we take another break from there? In our series on fixing the land debate, which commenced last week, we'll be hosting all kinds of South Sudanese and others to present solutions to land-based conflicts.
It is stated clearly that land belongs to the communities, but also regulated by the government.
The land belongs to the people. We don't end there, but it has to be regulated. Who regulates it is the state.
Problem which our people have is that they thought that the land belonged to the community. Yes, the land belonged to community, but regulated by the government. And who is that government? It is the local authority which is near them, and also the government which is heading that state, and the government of the Republic of South Sudan.
You don't say, I'm the commander of this area, so I have the right to distribute this area, or I'm the chief, this is my area, and even there are some chiefs now who sell land to foreigners.
We have managed to now to reduce this land grabbing. I'm not saying that is not continuing, but to the extent 80%, 80%, no more grabbing that is happening now.
In South Sudan, we are not supposed to have a land grabbing. We are supposed to have the settlement, because people want to settle. That is the correct answer. But saying that the land has been grabbed, the land is being grabbed from the country to the country. But being a people in one country, you cannot grab the land.
This is Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Adingor, and with us in the program, Honorable Dr. Abenego Akung Kachwal, the chairman of the South Sudan Elections Commission. We are speaking about the road to 2023. Will there be elections or not? What do you say to that?
Election is the backbone of democracy. If it is conducted freely, fairly, the nation will be stable. And then people who are defeated will wait for the time being, then they can plan, come back again. So election is a basic element to bring peace to the nation. Provided that it is to be conducted in a free, fair atmosphere.
Will they be conducted or not in your estimation? You are speaking about political will on the side of others. What about your own will?
My own will, I am happy that there are so many experiences we did in this country. When 72 peace agreement was brought, it was established High Executive Council. I don't know whether you were born or not born by that time, but 78 election was held to give the people the power, that the power belonged to the voters. And they brought in Joseph Lago by that time. The will of the people.
What is your will as the commission? Would you like the elections to be conducted or not?
The commission is a technical part of the election. It is mandated to apply the law, the election law, which has been amended by the politicians. Then they give it to me.
Based on the prevailing factors, how does it look to you? Does it look like if, again, I'm repeating myself, you are given ample resources that you need, is it conceivable that the elections can be held present conditions? There are issues of conduciveness. There has to be security nationwide. You must have concerns that needs to be addressed on the technical side.
You see, we need to do three things. We need to take up our responsibilities as a nation. There are duties of the commission which they can do properly to enable them conduct free and fair election. And there are duties of the nation to do, first of them, like the amendment of the Constitution, as we just mentioned. Then the act, and then the revitalization. If they do this, the election commission can do the job very easily. This is the comparative I can say now.
So each and every one of us must play
a role,
the fair share of the bargain.
Exactly. With this talk, I think the listeners are aware that the election commission is ready to conduct election on condition all these processes are completed. A, the amendment of the act. B, the reconstitution of the commission, and then finally the constitution, which is the guiding document of the nation. There is no problem from there. We can continue.
And can you clarify which elections are we talking about? At what level? Is it only at the national level or every level?
Well, according to the National Election Commission Act 2012, there are 8 elections to be done, or 7. So it is beginning with the office of the president, then ends with the commissioners, according to the act.
Will you be in a position to handle such kind of volume, and you have not already trained yourself to do such kind of thing?
No, I just told a few minutes ago that the capacity building we have.
You have been going for workshops in and out of the country, but you have not even held basic by-elections for you to be prepared for such kind of a monumental challenge.
No, there are some local elections that are running these days. I think you may not be aware of them. And the election commission is participating in them. And then we go outside and we see.
You need two things: resources, political will, and you will deliver.
Exactly.
What can you say to South Sudanese that those outside stakeholders who are urging us to hold elections on time without factoring in the conditions, the grim conditions that we are in, the issue of the COVID-19 pandemic haven't been affecting the schedule? What do you say to those outside stakeholders who are pressing South Sudan to do the impossible, or seemingly the impossible?
Well, I think we isolate those pressuring Southern Sudan. But what we can do as concerned citizens and with the people with the definite roles, the government has a role to play. And they are the people who sign the peace agreement. They just take the peace agreement, revisit it, read it, and then put into action those articles which are not implemented. If they do that, then with us, we can just run the election without any difficulty. Because the guidance is there.
If someone meets you on the road and asks you, Chairman of the South Sudan Election Commission, have you been fixing South Sudan or not? What would be your response?
I will tell him at the moment we are preparing to fix it. Because the law is to be amended. As soon as it's amended, we will take it, then we implement the law.
Are you neutral enough to be able to do what the people want?
Honestly speaking, you know me very well. When interviewed me 2011.
Question is yes or no. Are you neutral enough to do the work of the people?
Yes.
Thanks for being on Fixing South Sudan.